Can you?
No, I will not believe it. I will need a few days probably.
Yeah, probably a few weeks.
I'm fuming. I'm joking.
It was well deserved. I mean, I feel like we're all grateful no matter what position. Got my boyfriend, so yeah, it's been amazing.
Beautiful.
Welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Love Island, the reunion episode, the one we've been awaiting, especially from the drama that we heard happening on Thursday, and we do get a little bit of that. Plus, we get to see some of the experiences of the other bombshell and the actual 4 couples that left the villa that placed the spot for 2022. But before we unpack all of this, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel for all updates, and please don't forget to like and share. So I will say that everybody arrived to the reunion looking great. They kind of talked about how life was arriving back to UK, or out of the villa per se. And everybody looks good. So after that whole prelude, they went ahead and started out everything. They wanted to get a grasp of how everybody felt at the night of the actual finale. And, some of them was like, oh, we were all nervous and shaking. And I mean, when it came to Ekin-su, she said that her heart was beating out of her chest. It was almost like she almost had a heart attack. But, of course, we all know that they were the winners of this particular season. And the fact that, that they won, they had no idea. He said 3 years ago he didn't even speak English. So they pretty much gave us a glimpse of that first day outside of the villa. But I guess the holding area until they left Mallorca, we saw them having a little bit more private time away from the other islanders, where they're able to spend some time as a couple with each other. So I thought that was great. So then we move on to the specifics. They brought Jay in talking about his abs. They had to show his abs. And I got to say, the boy, 6-pack, look almost like an 8-pack to me. But he was looking good. Then we had Charlie. They went back to his scene where he could barely rip his pants off on the heart rate challenge, and it was hilarious. And then we got to this whole funny scene with India and that flute, or the little whistle, or whatever it was, and that was too funny. So much so that this is what happened with one of the fans and their dog. Take a look. And then we got treated once again in studio live of India with that whole flute whistle again. And obviously she hasn't been practicing because there has been no improvement. So then we have Antigone and Jay. Antigone had announced that she will be releasing a song, or maybe even her album, that's coming out in September. So then it was time to talk to our final 4, Andrew and Tasha. They talked about marriage, and Andrew was like, it's a little too soon for that, but they have been doing well outside of the villa, and they've grown a lot closer. And she, even though with everything that they went through, she said that, she knew eventually that he was that guy. It was always a pull between the two of them. So they're doing great outside of the villa. So no issues, and, just settling into life as they move forward from this point. Then we have the next conversation, which is in between. Oh, shoot. So then we got to see Deji, Lacey, Danica, and Jamie, and figuring out what was their status at this point, because they left as a couple. With Deji and Lacey, he claiming that they're still together, but she's like, we haven't even been on a date. And she threw some serious shade toward Deji because obviously he's not doing his job and is trying to build upon something. And she was like, if we're going to try to do something with each other, at least take me on a date. So I don't see that going anywhere. Now, on the flip side, for Danica and Jamie, they're doing well. Danica says she got a good egg by being with Jamie. They really haven't been on their first date alone privately, but she said that they've done their first photo shoot. And he was like, you know what? I'm not worried about that. We got plenty of time for dates. So look like Jamie is in for the long haul with Danica. So we got to keep an eye on them, but I wish them the best. So speaking of Danica had the opportunity to give dance lessons. And as we know with her in the villa, the girl not only can dance, but the girl liked to do her twerking. And she didn't, it wasn't anything different this time. She definitely was showing him how to do his dance and twerk. So then let's move over to Paige and Adam. And these two are doing well. Adam is saying it's different this time coming out the villa because he's actually with someone that he's really compatible with. He enjoying life outside, and they're happy to be with each other and the choices that they've made. And they're currently still together. Now, this particular scene was so funny. And I would have recorded it and added to this video, but ITV is great at throwing copyright claims. So I cannot do that. And, but this is the narrator, the one that we hear. By the way, he's also the narrator. I figured that because that voice sounds familiar. He's also the narrator for Love Island USA. But for those who did get a chance to see it, it was hilarious. He was doing a rendition of each one of the people or the cast members that's in the bottom corner and mimicking them. And he was close to perfect on how he spoke, just like them. It was funny. Even the little skits that he did with the wig and the hair and trying to imitate Danica and, and trying to imitate Gemma and all of that. This is the one for Gemma. It was freaking hilarious. I wish I could share that with you guys, but I know they will get me on it. And then there's Liam, Amber, and Ikna. And, Liam always say his famous quote that he did this particular season. As for Amber, she was like, time flies. Like it's been a while, but she's been doing a lot of interviews. And as for Ikna, they were saying that Ikna has been at every Love Island related party since he left the villa. It was funny, but he was like, do you want to give any tea? And Ikna was like, nah, I have some, but I don't want to give it. But yeah, he's pretty much been out and about. So next up was Dani and India, and they're doing fine. They're happy with each other. And I will say what was interesting about this particular quick interview with them is that when the hostess said, are you two still sleeping next to each other? He was like, what do you mean are we still sleeping next to each other? Who else am I going to sleep next to? And I was like, okay. He got snippy a couple times, so much so that India had to turn around and kind of look at him and nudge him. So I don't know, maybe he got a whiff on how people felt about him on the outside. So maybe he's kind of pissed off about the show. But he didn't even like when some people commented in the audience and was laughing. And he was like, what are y'all laughing at? And, they kept the show moving, but obviously he was very guarded in this particular interview. No laughs, no smiles, almost like he wanted to watch what he'd say or do. So maybe it wasn't misconstrued, but yeah, that was interesting. But they're doing fine. They're great. And we can't forget about this piece when they brought Summer into this conversation, because Summer was like, I didn't like some of the stuff that I saw was said after I left. And both of them was like, that's why you get unfollowed or something like that. So obviously there's some beef going on between these two. And I mean, it's like, okay, they're together. They were together before Summer got there. But obviously there's some hard feelings. And then this whole thing with Deji, because they had to bring that up about the mix-up of the names. Remember, India called him Deji several times, And then in the Meet the Parents segment, her mom called him Deji. And of course, that didn't sit well, as we all remember, with India. But even coming back, he obviously, you know, he didn't like, he said, my name is Dami. So, but other than that, that was a pretty interesting segment, to say the least. Now we got Gemma and Luca. Now, these two are not officially a couple. I mean, boyfriend and girlfriend. They really, they said that they've never, even on the outside, they're not that over-the-top emotional couple. They like the fact that they have their private time now. But they said pretty much what you saw in the villa is who they are outside of the villa. So, but they did share that scene with Jocks, and he got kind of emotional about that because they were really close. But as for these two, they just taking it one day at a time, pretty much. So then we get to the messiness of what everybody been talking about, this whole thing with Josh, Summer, and Coco. And of course, I got a little bit of clip. I had to chop it up for you guys so you can kind of get a whiff of what happened. So yeah, it got a little messy. Obviously, they didn't show all of it, so they edited. Take a look.
With someone, but we move. Maybe not talk too much.
Do you want to spill?
No,
Maybe not talk.
it's just banter. If you can't handle a big personality, don't go on reality TV. It's banter.
Friends don't say certain things, hun, but all right.
Okay, well, he's been losing man, so... Sorry, it was a joke.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about you. If you want to talk about you, we can.
Okay, I don't care.
If you want to talk about you, we can.
Guys.
I just want to clarify, I'd never fight over anybody because there's no competition.
Summer.
I've never fought over a boy. I don't want to get Josh is my mate.
So I will say production did a good job in editing a lot of that out, because they said it was a shutdown of that. So obviously we didn't get to see all of it. So let's move to our final two, the winners, Davide and Ekin-su. They're doing great. She was talking about how she's happy, even though, you know, she had her different people that she was trying to talk to in the villa at the beginning, and their ups and downs. That whole scene they showed with her crawling to get to Jay. The crazy thing about it is Davide had not seen that replay back yet. So she tried to cover his eyes. Jay is embarrassed. But at the end of the day, you know, obviously they won each other. But they seem to be so happy. There was a fan who created a painting of a Italian stallion, which is what that is. And of course, they was going to get his signature and everything on the photo. So, I mean, it was a pretty good job, I got to say. But they obviously loved it. So then they talked about the whole ekin-su thing, which is going to be pretty much a staple statement. Probably throughout the history of the show. And then the whole pancake thing came back up. And then they played Gemma talking about how she liked Natalia pancakes over Ekin-su, which obviously Ekin-su did not know that. So, of course, Gemma was embarrassed by that a little bit. But Ekin-su played it off and say, hey, that's your opinion. That's cool. So then they have an in-studio competition between Natalia and Ekin-su where they got to make pancakes again. And whoever wins, because they will have all of the Islanders in the audience taste it and then vote. And obviously they voted and she won. So the rest of the show was them, the artists. There were little awards that they gave away for different scenes. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. I was looking forward to that whole thing with Summer and Coco. So we did get a little taste of it. But the whole big blowout, obviously they edited that out. They can't put that on TV. And I thought pretty much that they wouldn't. But it was good that people that were there, you know, the last couple days have been talking about exactly what had happened. And I did an actual video on that. So if you haven't checked that out, or I can link it into this video, then you can get a chance to see it for yourself on what exactly went down. And like I said, it was about Josh. So, I hope you enjoyed this. The season is now officially over. It was a good one. Stay tuned for all of my recaps for Love Island USA. That's heating up. Casa Amor is this coming week. And a lot of people are wondering, why is it so early? Because this particular season 4 only is 6 weeks, not 8 weeks. So we got 3 more weeks left and then we're done with USA. So stay tuned for that. And until the next video, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel for all updates. And don't forget to like and share. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.